Markham. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, woodchucks and chuckettes, hoofties, poofties, bung-eyed helpers, heifers. You're all welcome here. And where is here? Right here. It's news to us. Thank you, Toddster. It's we're Newport's oldest TV news. Been here since 2009, and we got adult themes and adult language. We try and keep it clean, and we usually do, or else we lose our time slot. Or yeah, it'd be awful later. And we know you're not going to DVR this show. As it is now, you're probably flipping through cable and saying, "What in the hell is that guy doing?" But anyways, this is from. We're going to start off with an article about Congress Inc. This is from this week's Nation. That's right. It's a magazine for us old lefties, as my buddy in Westfield calls me. And Congress Incorporated. The surge of corporate officials and lobbyists has seized control of legislative power by Lee Fang. You can look this up at thenation.com. And until a few weeks ago, Joel Leftwich was a senior lobbyist for the largest food and beverage company in the U.S., PepsiCo, maker of Cheetos, Lay's, and of course Pepsi. The company had played a leading role in efforts to beat back local soda taxes and ensure that junk food remained available in schools. We wonder why there's childhood obesity. And but PepsiCo also faced new challenges at the federal level. The Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act, championed by the First Lady Michelle Obama, placed new standards on school lunches, nutritional standards. Pepsi sent teams of lobbyists into Capitol Hill, deluged candidates with donations, fired off letters to regulators asking them to weaken the new rules. One such letter from Pepsi requested the redefinition of the school day so that the company could continue to sell its sugary sports drink at early morning sports practices. Okay, we're going to redefine school day. You know, like Reagan did, saying ketchup is a vegetable. Yeah. Okay then. Yeah, that's really nutritious, boys and girls. And so last April, Leftwich paid a visit to Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow of Michigan, because see, it's, you know, like Philo says, the Republicans suck and the Democrats blow. Basically, you know, they're both captured. And to thank her for opposing the guidelines for food stamp purchases. And now he'll have far more access because he's Leftwich is now the newly appointed staff director of the Senate Ag Committee. Now under GOP control, he'll have wide sway over the law that funds school lunches. Because see, our legislators, you know, except for Bernie and, well, Leahy, God forbid, and Pee-wee Welch. I mean, Pee-wee's a lawyer. I don't know how big his staff is. But all the heavy work and all the lifting that's why they say they pass bills without reading them, because they have the staffers do it. And these staffers will leave a multi-million-dollar job at, say, Pepsi, and then take a $10,000 a year job as a staffer. And it all looks good on the books, you know? Oh, and yeah, that's not Merrill's Marauders. That was the Flying Tigers. They got into World War II before it was World War II. And Burma, that's quite a story, quite an outfit too, Claire Chenal. But anyways, Pepsi can rest easier, confident the guidelines are unlikely to be strengthened. Leftwich's new boss, Republican Senator Pat Roberts of Kansas, took over the Ag Committee, has his sights on dialing back nutrition requirements, and which he calls the big brother government that's out of control. Oh yeah, we want kids to be, you know, get healthy food in school. Damn it, that's Big Brother and he's out of control. And it sounds good to you schmucks who believe it. You know, This government is us, okay? We are the government. You know, and it's like George Washington had what, 2, 3 horses shot out from underneath him to get this country up and going. How many of our forefathers died trudging through the snow and freezing at Valley Forge so that we could have a country? And, you know, and it's all like, and then these guys come along and say, oh, she's burdensome regulations, don't you know? That's what's ruining it. It's not that you're making squat. It's not that we're spending over half our budget for war and war tools. Oh, no. No, it's big government that's out of control with burdensome regulations, don't you know? So anyways, we've seen a dramatic uptick in K Street. That's the lobby where all the lobbies are, says Public Citizens. You can go to publiccitizen.org. You want to get an eye-opener, mister. And let's see, the House Intelligence Director, the House Intelligence Committee Staff Director is Jeff Shockey. He comes to the Hill as working as a lobbyist, surprise, surprise, for the contractors, including General Dynamics, Boeing, and just last year, Academy, which is formerly, spelled with an I on the end of it, Academy, formerly known as Blackwater. You know, the people who drive up, you can see their videos on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and punch in, you know, out of control contractors or whatever in Iraq, or Iraq video. It shows them running over kids, shooting people up. It's unbelievable. And they wonder why why our soldiers and stuff come back all screwed up. These contractors got away with murder, literally. And why do you think all these people that are cutting heads off in Syria and stuff, why do you think they make their people wear orange jumpsuits, boys and girls? Wonder if that's got anything to do with Guantanamo, our gulag, and Abu Ghraib, where we electrocuted people and kept them in coffins and beat them and sick dogs on them. Yeah, okay then. Okay. The House Oversight Committee, a key investigative body, will now have a staff director named Sean McLaughlin, who was a former corporate lobbyist at the Podesta Group. And Tom Chapman, who earned $1.5 million last year as President VP of Government Affairs of U.S. Airways, will now be the council staff for the Aviation Subcommittee, which oversees his former employer. And as Congress takes up tax reform, one of the hires on the Joint Committee on Taxation is Ben Gross, who spent more than a decade as an international tax director for PricewaterhouseCoopers, a firm that specializes in helping corporations avoid American taxes. Because, see, when we were kids, well, not so much Todd because he's a lot younger than I am, but when us gray-haired folks were kids, the bulk of the taxes were paid in this country by corporate taxes. Now the corporate taxes are squat. They still don't pay them. They hide their money overseas and in the Cayman Islands. And it's left up to you and me to get 30% gouged out of our check every week. Oh, and don't tell anyone you get paid for doing a TV show or they'll all be down here, Todd. Don't mention it. Okay, lobbyists have been hired to help the offices with most controversial let's see. Steve Scalise, the majority whip, that was the guy who was addressed David Duke's Klansman meeting. But Scalise has returned to Capitol Hill. He's from Louisiana. I mean, only in Louisiana can you go and address a Klan meeting and then 10 years later still get reelected, even though they got you on audio or video addressing the KKK. So let's see. And a party at the posh Capitol Hill Club, the meeting ground for Republicans, that has been sued by its employees for racial discrimination. 300 lobbyists cheered the Scalise as he laid out his agenda, flanked by one of his newest staffers, Bill Hughes, who was formerly a lobbyist for the Retail Industry Leaders Association, which keep pushing the lawmakers to keep from raising the minimum wage. Okay, it gets better. Let's see, Scalise welcomed the K Street community, representatives from Halliburton, MasterCard, General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, Koch Industries. They had a wine and tasting party with Pinots from Oregon and California. Scalise shocked many by having a registered lobbyist, John Fiery, sit in as applicants interviewed for jobs. And this pig castrating woman, the one with the cheap wig there from Iowa, Joni Ernst, Oh yeah, her family took $400,000 in gravy train money from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Subsidies. A self-made woman, real hard working farmer. That Joni Ernst. Okay. She delivered the GOP's response. She tapped Lisa Goias, a senior official with the National Federation of Independent Businesses, her chief of staff. And let's see. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat from West Virginia, go figure. He's going to join the Republican effort to cut down on the EPA regulations on CO2 and other crap from coal-fired plants. Hired a new senior policy advisor, John O'Donnell, who just left his job as a lobbyist for Xcel Energy, a big utility company with 13 coal plants. Okay, do we see a pattern here, boys and girls? Oh, the footage behind me is Vietnam. I went on Amazon.crap and tried to get that movie Air America, and instead I got this, which was a 1-hour documentary on Air America, which is the CIA's private airline. Oh, shh, we're not supposed to know that. If I tell you, I'll have to kill you. Okay, some cave seats and multiple lobbyists. The Deputy Staff Director of the Senate Energy Committee, Colin Hayes, former VP of McBee Strategy Consulting. Angela Becker-Dipman, hired as staff director for the Committee for Democrats. She once represented Tesla and other firms. Well, Tesla will, we'll do that. They're okay. The National Mining Association and Duke Energy. Let's see. Congressional staffers have an outsized amount of powers. They do the actual work of meeting with interest groups, helping to schedule hearings, writing lawmakers' remarks, and writing legislation. Yet they have no public scrutiny. Let's see. Then Fang was outside of a party. They wouldn't let him in. He stopped by a party hosted by, the Republican Jewish Coalition at the Capitol Grilly Steakhouse. I wasn't allowed in, not being a donor or with any candidates. Outside, I approached Mark Isakowitz, one of the highest grossing lobbyists on K Street, and he had lobbied for 16 years on tax and financial issues for the largest companies in America. His specialty is weakening the financial reforms passed after they collapsed the economy in 08. So all these laws they passed to keep it from repeating itself, well, guess what, boys and girls? They've gutted them. They gutted them, and they're toothless. And just witness HSBC getting, turning over drug profits and Iranian money again. No problem. And what does HSB stand for, boys and girls? That's right, Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank of China. They don't say that, though. Oh, it's just HSBC if you see it at all. And let's see. In little attention, the first bill passed was to reauthorize something called the terrorism risk insurance. Tucked away in the bill was a special amendment to weaken oversight of the derivative trades. You know, the bets on bets on bets on bets, the naked short selling and all that stupid crap. And thanks to the amendment, commodity regulators are prohibited from forcing large corporations to post collateral and margin requirements for their trades. See, when you put up a trade, they say, okay, you got to put up a margin of, say, 20%. But if the bet comes in bad, you got to cough up the other 80%. Well, that's how the market went down in 1929. And so they passed the margin requirements, and guess what? They gutted it. They gutted it right out. Okay, then. Let's see. Marcus Stanley, the policy director of America's Financial Reform that favors strong regulation, says the amendment is dangerous because losses can occur in transactions with commercial end users just as any other transaction. This special exemption was promoted by a coalition of end users, including Honeywell, Boeing, General Electric. You remember? Adam Lanza's father is the head treasurer at General Electric, so he was probably in on writing this law, or gutting it. And Koch Industries. 4 companies with PACs, the biggest in the country. And anyways, Lisa Gilbert, the director of Public Citizens Congress Watch, says derivative amendment is just one sign of lawmakers captured by the industry. The staff is reflective of Congress has already begun to prioritize. And next in the nation, it's like, who will take in the Syrians, okay? And, it's like, never mind, these people won't stay and fight, and they're all going to run to Europe where you live a life, thanks, Todd, in the land of milk and honey. Well, they profile 3 families in here. Now, mind you, if you see a pattern here, okay? Let's see. Aisha, a mother of 5 living in a suburb of Alexandria, Egypt, told me she could only afford to send her kids to school 1 day a week on the stipend she now receives. Mother of 5. 5 kids, boys and girls. Okay, profile number 2. Asma'a, a 32-year-old mother of 4, told me her husband spent 2 months detained in a police station in Alexandria to try to make the crossing before they deported him to Turkey. Another one, 4 kids. Okay. Muhammad was pregnant with her 6th kid when she and her husband made the first attempt in the summer of 2013. When they reached the shore, police fired shots in the air and then arrested them as they tried to flee. Well, you know, what they're not telling you about Greece and Italy is they're being swamped by these people. And why is that? Well, it's got nothing to do with our CIA taking down governments. We went in Bush too, right naked, right out in the open. We went in and we ripped Saddam out of place. He kept a lid on it, so now that's gone completely to hell. Then we went and killed Muammar Gaddafi, and Libya's gone completely all to hell. And then we were going to support these freedom fighters in Syria, and Syria's gone right to hell in a handbasket. How many countries can we destabilize before lunch, boys and girls? Oh, don't get me going. Oh, and this show is brought to you by cocaine toothache drops. That's right, boys and girls. Ask for it by name. Cocaine. If it's good for a migraine, it's cocaine. We're going to do a book report on that new book I got, Chasing the Scream, about Harry Anslinger. But anyways, and secondly, I printed this up again. Thanks, Todd. All you got to do is Google U.S. Patent 6630507. 6630507, okay? Google it. Thanks, Toddster. If you Google this patent, you get 20, how many pages? 26, 27 pages of the cannabinoids as antioxidants and neuroprotectants, okay? And Dr. Sanjay Gupta did his second documentary. His first documentary last year was a mea culpa, saying medical weed does work. It's good for everything from appetite to cancer. It prevents a lot of diseases. Well, sure enough, he did a second one on cannabis, and he tried to get a hold of Health and Human Services, the people who granted this patent. This was publication date was October of 03, and it was filed in April of 1999. So they've been working on it for 15 years so far. Here's the abstract. Cannabinoids, that's weed, cannabinoids have been found to have antioxidant properties unrelated to MDMA receptor antagonism. This newfound property makes cannabinoids useful in treatment and prevention of a wide variety of oxidation-associated disease, such as ischemic, that's stroke, boys and girls, age-related, that's getting older and gray, inflammatory, that would be inflammatory and autoimmune disease, that would be like arthritis and lupus and all kinds of other diseases. And for limiting, it's found a particular application is neuroprotectants, that's protecting your brain from damage following stroke and trauma, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, HID dementia. The non-psychoactive cannabinoids, CBD, are particularly advantageous to be used. They avoid toxicity and they're good for strokes, and it just goes on and on and on. And they said that they're useful as tissue protectants, not only as brain protectants, but cardio, heart protectants. You know, so what Sanjay Gupta was saying was, how can they on one hand say, oh, it's Schedule 1 drug, it has no medical application whatsoever, and you know, by Jesus, you get caught with this, mister, we're going to send your ass right to jail. Yet if you Google this patent, you can see that our government is basically admitting that, that it's surprising results of useful effects. It's superior antioxidant activity. Yeah, unexpected superior antioxidant activity. You know what? Well, it may be unexpected by some jackalopes in lab coats, but, you know, a lot of us have known since the 60s and 70s that not only is the stuff good for you, it's actually good for you. Ah! All right, so let's see. What's in the news today? Oh, yeah, here we are, Scott Walker. You know, it said that Scott Walker didn't finish college, right, Todd? But what they didn't tell you is that he only had a 2.59 GPA, and he was 34 credits short in his senior year. 34 credits. It's like, my God, what did he do for the first 3 years he was in school? Ugh. So when they asked him about it, he said, Howard Dean mentioned it. He said, that's the kind of elitist, government knows best, top-down approach from Washington we've heard for years. He told Megyn Kelly on Fox Blonde News, the hot blonde news. He says, we've had an Ivy League trained lawyer in the White House for the last 6 years who is pretty good at reading off the teleprompter, but has done a pretty lousy job leading this country. Wait a minute. If the guy's, it's like, which is it? It's the problem is either Obama's a pointy-headed intellectual or he's a drooler incapable of communicating without the teleprompter. Which is it, Scotty? I don't know. I didn't finish school. I don't know. But everybody likes me and they give me lots of money. And here we are. You know, one of the big things about having a CDL is you have to take a whiz test. Well, this one company had 14, this is the wreck that the trooper had to run from to save his life. This company's had 14 wrecks in 2 years. Oh, thank God for drug testing, huh? Yeah, good thing we got drug testing. And here we are. Okay, how many of you out there, raise your hands if you know who Nicki Minaj is? You, and you, and you. Okay. And Nicki Minaj, her people had a booze stabbing outside of a bar in Philly last week. You know, but that's okay. We'll put that way, way in the back of the paper because, you know, it's only booze. And booze is fully legal, like tobacco, even though it kills millions of people every year. The double stabbings on Wednesday left 29-year-old Devon Pickett dead. Oh, gee, there was a death involved, and a second member of Minaj's tour severely wounded. The 27-year-old remains in critical condition. Police say the stabbing occurred outside a bar after the victims argued with a man inside the bar. According to Nicki Minaj, the crew members had arrived in Philly only 2 days earlier to rehearse for a tour. Okay, the guy that they arrested, 31-year-old Pierce Boykin, his lawyer could not be reached for comment. Hey, of course not. And anyways, let's see. Let's go right to the drunks. Why not? Right? Right. Here we are. Police, woman killed in the Colchester crash was drunk. Oh, really? She was only 3 times the lethal limit, but, you know, it's legal. And how are you going to drive home? It costs you a fortune for a cab in Vermont if you can get one after 9 o'clock here, around here, these parts. Unbelievable. A South Hero woman killed during a 2-vehicle crash was drunk when she crossed. Lidora Harrington, 66, was driving in her Kia Rio when she slammed head-on into Steve Austin. Steve Austin? The $1 Million Man? And at 7 o'clock p.m. She's 3 times the lethal limit at 7 p.m. Good going, honey. Harrington's blood alcohol was 0.209%, according to the findings. She also had depressants in her system. Okay. And it sent this guy, Austin, and his wife to the hospital, and his daughter, too. Good going. Yeah, we need more beer, too. And here we are. Yeah, you can be a drunken slob too. That's right. Yeah, every week, week in, week out, we push the booze. You can begin embalming yourself right away. Just start drinking the formaldehyde and alcohol. Yeah, push the booze, and here we are here. Oh, look at this. Vermont flatbread. Wow, delicious treat. Country farm chicken, house-made maple BBQ, 2-year-old cheddar. Fiddle had tomato sauce and red onions because we can't even make the food without the booze. And look at that. We'll put a picture of a nice tall glass of meat drink right next to it so you can clog your arteries and get drunk too. Yay! Go booze. And you know, the one thing I hate is this homophobia thing. A phobia means you're scared of something, okay? If you're scared of something, you don't hate it. You're scared of it. So stop calling these people homophobes. People who don't like other races are called racist. People who don't like other sex are called sexist. Then why don't you call these people what they are? Queerists. Because they're not homophobes, they're queerists. They don't like queers. And LBGTQ, whatever it is, RU12 LBGTQ, that's the queer and queer. And I know a lot of people who are proud to be queer. And, well, according to the dictionary, it has nothing to do with sex. Well, maybe the new dictionaries. And speaking of sex, last week I'd mentioned this guy almost getting run over, which is why yours truly carries a handgun with him now. I went to report this guy trying to run me and my dogs off the road. Nothing happened. Well, this trooper right here, he was the one sitting behind the desk, and he was too busy. He wasn't paying attention. Why wasn't he paying attention, boys and girls? Because he was having an affair with his 15-year-old stepdaughter. Well, he made the front page again. That's right. Former trooper sex offender held without bail. He violated probation, repeated contact with a young girl. This time, the 11-year-old sister. Okay, Mark Beesup. Good going. Kind of troopers we got around here. Thank God they canned him. And let's see, he was convicted in May of 2012. He was convicted of sexual exploitation of a minor and 2 counts of prohibited sexual acts. And let's see, he was emergency arrested after a second violation on January 2nd for contact with the same girl. And then the allegations come in pairs, said I don't know, somebody. In this case, there's no combination of conditions ensure the safety of the 11-year-old girl, as long as the girl's mother and Beesup want to get together. The court has no confidence any conditions will keep them apart. Yeah, how do you keep them apart? With a crowbar. Oh, I plead insanity. I was just crazy about that little girl. On February 15th, Hosford conducted a surprise visit at Beesup's home, where he found Kidder Beesup's car idling in the garage with both adults inside. Hosford asked where the daughter was, and both said she was at home alone. Yet, Beesup appeared to be nervous. At CCO Hosford conducted a search of the first floor and witnessed the kids' boots. Upstairs in the bedroom, he found the girl crouched in a dark closet on the floor. That's normal behavior, isn't it, Todd? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was getting something out of the fridge. I wasn't listening.
It's normal behavior for an 11-year-old girl to be crouched in the closet hiding when somebody's searching for her. Oh, sure. Upstairs in Beesup's girl room, Hosford located the girl crouched in a dark closet on the floor in Beesup's bedroom. Unbelievable. Let's see. On January 2nd, the other violation, he got a call from the cop, David Jacobs, who indicated that Kidder/Beesup had just been in a crash with her daughter, and the witnesses said a male had left on foot. The description sounded like Beesup. So the next day they found him, and he admitted he had been in the back seat during the accident, but he had been with his wife's daughter. He knew it was a violation of his probation. But I'm just crazy about that girl. She's 11. I can't keep away from her. And my ex is fine with it, so what do you care about? It's, she's not a blood relative, right? Unbelievable, man. And here we are. Thank God for our auditor, Doug Hoffer. It took a lot to get this guy elected, probably because Salmon. We had a problem with Salmon, Don't you know who I am? That guy, the drunk, that guy, the former auditor. Well, he was looking at Gruber's invoices for all that money we paid him. Never mind, we spent $40 million with CGI just to develop a website. Yeah, didn't we spend $40-50 million to put in a website over here, Todd? Yeah, I think it cost the station $20 million to develop the website.
Oh, at least.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Doug Hoffer is looking through Gruber's invoices, and he finds out that one of the invoices is for his staffers for 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now that's typical for a grad student, isn't it? Sure. 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. What, did Gruber have this kid in the basement? You know? Keep going. 14 hours a day, that's it. We got to finish up this contract with the state of Vermont, you know? And hopefully they won't look at the fine print, if you know what I mean. Okay, and here we are. EPA says they're going to toughen the rules unless Vermont gets tough on lake cleanup. Yeah, right. Petey says we're going to do it the Vermont way. You know what the Vermont way means? It means doing nothing, okay? It's like a Vermonter. A Vermonter will never tear down a falling down barn when he can let gravity finish the job for him. You know what I mean? Anybody else would either fix the roof, fix the barn, any other New Englander, excuse me, would fix the roof or fix the barn, you know, or if it was gone too far, tear it down and save the good wood, so, you know, because it's good wood, but, you know, not up here. Yeah, it'll just let it fall down on its own. And here we are. We got Alonzo Jones, that's right. We had HIMAT Security, Homeland Security was a helicopter. We had the U.S. Marshals and the Burlington Police to go after a couple of cocaine-crazed Negroes, as they used to say. You know, it's about time we got off this stuff because you're no more likely to get addicted to crack than you are to get addicted to caffeine. And here we are, the next day, same thing, shows the guy in the paper, man suspended by faces drug accusation. Ooh, let's lock up another black kid. You know, oh, they're up here taking the Vermont girls. Oh my, they're going to get them hooked on drugs. They've got automatic weapons, according to Senator Campbell. Better look out. Nah. It's unbelievable. The two women who lived at the apartment told Burlington detectives they'd gone to Albany to pick up the two men, and they were their names were withheld from the court papers. So the girls who own the apartment are doing the blow with these guys. They don't even get their names in the paper. Yet Alonzo Jones, he got a picture right there. Alonzo, and from Brooklyn, and Aaron Drumgo, 25 from Brooklyn too. He tried to flee by leaping out the window, and his pants became caught on part of the building. We gotta love them baggy pants. They kind of like flap around in the wind, and now they done took you down. So 200 grams of crack and $1,000 in his other pocket, and 142 bucks, and it's unbelievable. Yeah, the girls get off scot-free. They were the ones doing the blow, probably, you know, but it's okay. You know, we got to jail these black kids. It's 50 grand a year for every black kid we jail. And, you know, that means, you know, prison, probation, guards, transportation, lawyers, court fees. You know, it all adds up to nothing when we're paying for it. And here we are. Oh, man. A CCTA bus was bum-blasted by a van from East Greenbush. They're unknown causes. But here we are. Lawyers update the court on the shaken infant. I don't know if this kid's still in the hospital or what. But, hey, mom's 17, dad's 45. Okay, then. They met on the net, you know. You think the DSS would have removed the kid? Oh, no. Oh, no. No. No, they were involved in it, but, you know, hey, we can't just take kids away from people. We'll let the teenage mothers shake them. And here we are. How do you spell welcome, Todd?
Like for real?
Yeah, WELCOME, right?
Yes.
Well, somebody left with the E. That's right, the King Street Sports Center. We can't spell. Nah. You'd think they would have come up with an E somewhere for the photographer, but oh no, that's okay. And here we are. That girl, that Shatavia or whatever, what'd she get? 5 years for killing CeCe Alford. Stabbed a woman, 16-year-old, to death over a laundry. Yeah, there we are. This was April 1975. That's where our war profits go. Yep. They flew with the Vietnamese. They were processing $50,000 worth of gold every day. every day that these Vietnamese had brought out of the country with them. Yeah, suitcases full of gold. But anyways, she gets 5 years in jail for murder, yet this guy in Richford's going to get 3 years in the joint just for weed. For weed, which I showed you in this patent is actually good for you, boys and girls. Unbelievable. Richford man sentenced in marijuana ring. Jeff Donner with 3 years in jail. Ooh, his co-conspirator Opie McAllister were kingpins. In the ring they started in the mid-2000s. 2 other men, including a farmer, are currently serving times for their roles in the drug ring. Well, you know what? I know the farmer personally. His name's Jesse. He's the nicest guy on the planet. He should not be in jail. I mean, if I grew up next to the Canadian border, it would have been a lot more than just weed I'd have been smuggling across. But, you know, I mean, I went up, I pruned this guy's apple trees for him years ago. That's where I actually filmed that pruning documentary. It was beautiful up there. I told him, I said, when he says, how much do I owe you? I said to him, I said, are you kidding me? I said, with the view up here, it's so beautiful. It's the backside of Jay Peak, you know. I said, it's so beautiful up here, I'd almost pay you for the privilege just to hang out up here, you know. But oh no, oh, they had to take him down. Oh yeah. They seized a second home in Florida, a Richford rental property, an SUV, an ATV, 22 guns, and $135 in drug money. Yeah. So if you're HSBC, you can launder drug money, but, you know, you just pay a fine. But if you're a poor guy from Richford, nah, you're going to get 5 years in the joint. It's insane. And speaking of which, if our founding fathers knew that we could be sent to jail on the word, on the testimony of a canine, an animal that cannot speak, talk, or testify in court, they would be rolling over in their graves. Here's this kid. He's working as a guard down in St. Jay, minding his own business. He left his gun and some weed in his car, and don't the state pigs come along and go through the damn parking lot, and they alerted the police to his vehicle. It was registered to a guard. They found a small amount of weed in addition to 2 firearms. Oh my God, well, what do you expect? It's Vermont. Everybody's packing, fool. You know, now you're gonna ruin this guy's life, his career, and everything else for a little bit of weed. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And speaking of sense, it seems we got a nursing home report, shows that they're stuffing our seniors full of psychoactive drugs, Todd. Oh yeah, it keeps them in compliance, don't you know? They're a lot easier to maintain when you just give them antipsychotic medication. A downward spiral into oblivion. Oh, that's right. Nursing home ratings fall. 30% were evaluated or below average. 6 of 37 saw their scores drop, and only 12 kept their 5-star ratings, and they cost about 80 grand a year to put your loved one in. And here we are. Oh, local food again. Oh, we got a lot of local food in Vermont this time of year, just like the rest of New England, you idiots. There's only root vegetables left. Why do you think people love to see fiddlehead season come around? It was the first time you got to eat anything green after all winter. But, you know, that's in the old days before we had refrigeration. But get this. Oh, yeah. They got rid of the black guy as sergeant-at-arms and voted a woman in just over these protesters. Yeah. So they're going to use security as an excuse for a lockout in the State House. They arrested 20, but not the organizer. Oh, yeah. Dustin Degree, a Republican of Franklin, said he was disappointed by what he saw and heard. It was his first term in the Senate. There are ways for young people to get involved in the process. Oh, yeah, you can come and show up at a hearing where we'll pretend to listen to you, and we won't do anything, but we'll take the money from the lobbyists and listen to them and take money for our campaigns. But, you know, there's plenty of ways for you to participate in local government, you know, provided you can pay a lobbyist, Mr. Degree. Unbelievable. And here we are, Principal of the Year. That's right. Former Principal of the Year, busted for taking money at Danville. Okay, embezzlement, it's the Vermont state sport. That's right. You better check the trail where this guy's left, man. I'll bet you find more money missing. $360 in cash and $1,200 worth of checks made out to the Danville school were missing. They had a surveillance camera. So they were smart. They must have known something was up because they were smart enough to put a surveillance camera over the safe. Okay. Let's see. Webley served for 8 years as the co-principal of Vergennes Union High School before taking the job in Danville. He was also charged with DUI in 2012 while employed in Vergennes. They issued him a citation after he crashed his car into his own garage. Okay. Boy, I'm so glad I made it home. Oh. Holy moly. Was that the section with my brother's name on it? Oh, no, that's not that wall. Yeah, and here we are. We got a guy in Guilford who's going to sue the state because he doesn't want to pay for health insurance because he objects to the abortions. Well, you know what? A lot of us object to our spending over 50% of our federal budget on war, but we got to pay for it, fool. I don't like abortion. Abortion is murder. And the legal organization, Alliance Defending Freedom, has contacted potential clients. Yeah, this guy goes down for the anti-abortion rally in Washington, meets some jerk down there, says, you want to be part of a test case? They said, sure. And he comes up here, and who knows how much he's making. Now look at this trooper. This trooper is so tall, he could look into the second story and see the woman's legs. Well, not really, but the way the reporter wrote the story, you would think that. Anyways, it is a kudos to the Vermont State Police because real heroes save lives. They don't end them, okay? He rescued a woman, an 81-year-old burning woman, 82, from a house in Thetford. Let's see. Saw smoke at 2:10 a.m. Saturday. He asked the Derby barracks to alert Thetford Fire Department. While checking the scene, he found her husband outside the home, who said his wife is probably still inside. He waited for firefighters to arrive. He praised, let's see. The homeowner's family reported the trapped woman was in her bedroom on the second floor. Decker was at the front of the building when the firefighters entered. The smoke cleared for a brief moment. He shined a flashlight into the building. He saw the woman's leg about 12 feet from the door. Well, was she on the second story or on the first story? I guess she was on the first story. But imagine the smoke that this woman must have inhaled. If it was so thick, he could only see her feet when they finally vented the place. Good God, man. So he went in, he crawled through the building and pulled the chair out towards the door and then saved her life. Go Trooper Decker. Congratulations. If we had more police like that, we wouldn't be busting everybody. Oh, yeah, we're going to have an amnesty for all of you low-income Vermonters who lost your license. That's right. Everybody with a DLS can come on down, and if you've got millions of dollars in fines, you can clean them all up for $20. Yeah, because the state of Vermont's only going to get $20 out of your butt, but the insurance company wants the money. That's where they want the money. If you read this, it goes on. T.J. Donovan says, Donovan called the $20 pro a great deal, but it's not a gift. This is in the interest of all Vermonters because while they're driving our roadways, we know they're driving illegally. Well, how about that with weed, TJ? We know people are smoking weed, so why not make it legal? Huh? We know they're driving illegal. We know they're driving without insurance. That puts all of us at risk. Oh, so which is it? Is it, is it to help the people out or is it to help the insurance companies out? Donovan. I mean, good God, man. Geez, Todd, that thing goes an hour. How much time we got?
You have about 15 minutes left.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to give the commercials. An hour show is really only 45 minutes.
Oh, that's right. Well, if we have to... So do I need to switch your background for you?
Yeah, either that or whatever. I hit repeat or whatever. It's... What's one of our favorite topics? Yeah, if you double stop it, maybe it'll come back.
Trying to find the DVD you gave me earlier.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that was the one of us. And I've been looking for that snapped video that they just filmed, and I haven't been able to find it yet. Yeah, the murderess. Yeah, she killed her husband after leaving this very studio. ran him right into a tree. Right into a tree. Okay then. Now I wonder if mine's first or if the one with John Clark is first. Clark was wound up being close to a murder in Connecticut too. Go figure. They did his story. This guy Dave, he killed his wife and his kid too. Did he kill the kid or just his wife? Anyways.
I don't remember.
Yeah. There's some sick people out there. His wife was pregnant again and he didn't want her pregnant. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, too bad we can't fast forward this one an hour. Yeah, and there he is right
I can
there.
fast forward it if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's get up to where we are. There it is, right there.
Oh, there were you.
Yeah, and I have my office too. Oh, cool. Oh, that's right, because there it is. Yeah, there's the pictures of the scene. Yep. Well, those aren't the pictures. That's a reenactment. Anyways,
Hey, is that you? Who's that?
look at that. Yeah, I got my own office right here at the studio.
There you are.
Yeah, with a bad wig. That's me. One of our favorite things. Hominy, dominy, 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 all of you kiddies drop of your pants and sit on the lap of Father Pedophilia. Yeah. And here we are. Bishop Coiney celebrates Ash Wednesday Mass. And this is news. That's right. Men in dresses make big messes. This guy spent years covering up for other priest abuse, and now he's a bishop. Oh, great. Isn't that wonderful? Hallelujah! 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 And speaking of religion, yeah, here we are. These Brits, the Brits that, here's the thing. These security companies, and, we know that Snowden told us everybody's listening. They're listening to all the phones in Britain. They're watching all the traffic to the Middle East and stuff. Yet they're listening that they didn't do anything because they got these 3 little blackbirds to fly back to Syria. That's right. Thanks, Todd. Yeah, I'm going to go there and breed. Yeah, you're going to get a husband. You're going to live under Sharia law. And you never mind that, the Brits missed it completely. It's unbelievable. The failed crusade, man. It's, let's see. The 3 girls, Shamima Begum, 15, Khadija Sultana, 16, and Amira Abbasi, 15, left London on Tuesday on a flight to Istanbul. They're believed to be trying to get into Syria to join ISIS or ISIL. Yeah, that's the one we spent billions of dollars trying to get rid of. Oh yeah, that worked out great, didn't it? Oh, sure it did. Shamima sent a tweet February 15th, 2 days before they left, to Aqsa Mahmoud, who traveled to Syria in 2013 at age 20 to marry an Islamic State fighter after becoming radicalized. They're not radicalized. That's the way these people are. And for all of you jerks who listen to these people that say, oh, we need more diversity. No, we don't. We've got plenty of diversity amongst the people who are here. You're not going to import a bunch of people from Somalia, a different religion, a different race. They tried to take these people skiing. They were all standing out there shivering. They're all like, what are you, crazy? It's cold out. Unbelievable. Oh, we need more diversity. Shamima's message said, follow me so I can direct message you back. DM. Addressing Mahmoud, her family said, you are a disgrace to your family and the people of Scotland. Your actions are perverted and evil distortion of Islam. And they said the British Security Service has serious questions to answer. Axa's social media has been monitored since she disappeared over a year ago, yet despite alleged contact between the girls and Axa, they failed to stop them from leaving England to Turkey. They said that Prime Minister David Cameron said it's deeply concerning and he's going to do everything he can to help. Oh, sure. They've been, like she said, they've been monitoring this woman's social media for over a year. Yet when she's talking to rounds up these girls, the blackbirds, fly away, little blackbirds, fly away. And we got another one, too. We got another one suing Abercrombie and Fitch. She says they didn't hire her because she was wearing a veil. Not a veil, a scarf. You know, in the 60s, women wore scarves. Women have been wearing scarves since time immemorial. Well, they know something's up when you never take the scarf off. And you know why they don't take the scarf off, Todd? Well, see, in the Bible, it says that years ago, the Nephilim. Now, if you translate this, the correct translation of Nephilim is those who came from the sky to the earth. That would be space travelers, right? Well, no. Back then, they thought they were angels or bad angels. So the Nephilim came down, and if you read on in the Bible, it said the sons of God looked on the daughters of men and found them fair, okay? And you know what? And knew them. Well, in biblical terms, when they say you knew somebody, it meant this. You knew them, okay? It has nothing to do with knowing anything in today's parlance. So these mysterious angels came down. So what they did is the Orthodox Jews and the Muslims and the Amish women too, well, they have to keep their hair covered up, because if they don't keep their hair covered up, these evil angels will come down and have sex with them. It says so right in the Bible. You didn't know that?
I did not.
Unbelievable. And they believe it. They believe it. Yeah. Oh, I believe it. I'm a believer. Yeah, just like that monkey song. So I guess that's it. I mean, if you show up at Abercrombie & Fitch and apply for, I never touched that woman. I never touched her. If you show up at Abercrombie & Fitch with a full beekeeping suit on, I guess they have to hire you, right? You can't discriminate, right? I mean, she's wearing a blue suit. You can't see her eyes. She's looking at you through a screen. Hey, who knows? Maybe they'll have robots and burqas pretty soon. Oh, and there's Betty. Oh, yeah, Charlie was a horrible guy. He was horrible. He yelled at her. He raised his voice. Unbelievable. That constitutes abuse now? Hey, you remember Laurel and Hardy, Todd?
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember them.
Yeah, well, they were, I don't remember them either. I've seen them. They ran one of their movies the other night. And there he is right there. Where's Stan Laurel? We've got Oliver Hardy right here. That Goomba is going to run for president. Can you believe it? And he's been taking money from Jordan and using their cash, too. Okay, what do you think Jordan wants back for that cash? Christie accepted thousands of dollars worth of trips paid for by the Jordanian government, which is not prohibited by the ethics requirements because of a bill Christie signed himself in 2010. Okay, no problem, right? If it's unethical, we'll have a bill making it ethical. And then when the king of Jordan sends me, suitcases full of cash, then, hey, I got to take it. Can't just leave it sitting around, right? And here we are, no more fish. We're screwed. That's it. Dire of a planet for last week. Might as well come out and say it. We're screwed. Right here, right off the bat. Commercial fishing would be banned on the high seas under a proposed agreement to create a fish bank to ensure the survival of the overexploited species. Approximately half of the world's fish stocks are being caught to their maximum sustainable limit. Now, only the government can tell you, forgive me, only the government can tell you that you can fish 90% of a species out, that leaving 10% is actually sustainable. On what world is that sustainable? Look at that. We've got a break room here with graffiti on the wall. And look, we can smoke inside the studio.
I was just going to say, that's you're not allowed to smoke inside the studio, Steve?
Oh, man. Bam! Ran him right into a tree. Killed him dead. Researchers and policymakers from Canada, Australia, and elsewhere say commercial trawlers should be banned to operate within 200 nautical miles. Well, we used to have... what was it, 100 nautical miles? It was at least 50, but this guy, President Reagan, dropped the limit to like 5 or 10 miles because, that's what the international ones did. So instead of protecting our fishermen along the coast of Maine and Massachusetts and stuff, oh no, Reagan just gave it away so that Russian trawlers and Chinese trawlers, there's me in a bad wig, can come in and just scoop up all the fish. And here we are. You drive down the interstate, you see this 5-star sign that says Eisenhower Interstate System. Well, Ike knew that President Eisenhower knew we were in a recession, and he set up building an interstate system in this country. And now these cheap Republican weasels won't even give out any money to maintain it. Oh no, we can play plenty for war, but we're not giving you a penny for fixing roads and bridges, mister. Oh, hell no. The American road and transportation, a quarter of 600,000 bridges are in such poor condition, they're rated as structurally deficient or functionally obsolete because they have narrow lane or other features not designed for today's traffic. 20% of the nation's 900,000 miles are in need of resurfacing or reconstruction. It's insane. It's insane. You know what their answer is? Well, we'll privatize it, and then they can charge tolls, and then they'll fix it with the money from the tolls. Oh, that's a great idea. So instead of having it paid for by our taxes so we can drive free from one state to another, oh no, no, you gotta stop every 10 minutes and pay a toll like you're in Mexico or New Jersey. Who wants to live there? What, are you kidding me?
You got about 5 minutes, sir.
Okay, thanks, Toddster.
Stop smoking in the break room, by the way.
Yeah, you can't smoke indoors. And here we are, the prophet.
How long ago was this?
Peace be upon him. Peace be upon the prophet. The prophet's prophets. That's right. It's Muhammad. Oh, yeah. Peace be upon him. And here we are. And we got the first bisexual as governor of Oregon. That's right. She wakes up every morning, flips a coin, and says, today, strudel, tomorrow, hair pie. That's a direct quote from Charlie Billis from the first show. Yeah, sure, okay, great, you know. Ancient Sunni-Shiite divide is at the heart of the modern conflict. Well, let's let them fight it out. When the dust clears, we'll go over there and take whatever oil's left, right? And in the meantime, Fox News will be screaming bloody murder. Oh my God, they're at the door. Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi. They're right here. They're going to take over our country. Be afraid. They're going to shoot up the Mall of America. Never mind, nobody's in the Mall of America. Nobody's got any money to go shopping. Oh, they're going to shoot up the mall. Oh, and they say, well, look at what they did in Nigeria to that mall. Well, Nigeria, what is it? No, Kenya, whatever. Well, what happened was the cops panicked, remember? These 6 guys went in to shoot up a mall, and the cops show up. They start firing off RPGs, blew a hole in the parking deck, and then after they'd killed a bunch of hostages and the terrorists, they started backing up their trucks. The cops did. They backed up their trucks and started stealing watches, jewelry, tobacco, liquor, coffee, anything they could get their hands on. More people were killed by the cops in Kenya than they were by the damn terrorists. And here we are. Look at this. This black girl was delivering papers, and you can see it. They don't mention it, but you can see it in the picture. It's a gated community. They got the gates over on the left and a guard shack on the right. She went into the drink. She called 911. They couldn't get, now get this. She was delivering newspapers at 4 a.m. She called 911. She knew the cross streets, even the zip code. She repeated her location over and over, but it didn't help because her cell phone was routed through the tower. No, it's because the dispatcher didn't believe her. If you told the dispatcher where you are, then the dispatcher should believe you. She shouldn't have to go by the cell phone. What the hell? In the end of the agonizing final seconds, you can hear words are muffled by the sounds of pond water, and the dispatcher looks at her and says, I lost her. Oh, yeah. I wonder if that hiring has anything to do with, I don't know, cronies or whatever. It took 20 minutes for rescuers to get to her and pull her out from her car, barely alive. She died a week and a half later in a hospital. Her call is one of the millions that failed to give the piggies a quick fix on location. It could leave you in grave danger. Yet, if you go to Facebook, Uber, or video games, they can dial right into your GPS and tell where you are within feet. Okay. Unbelievable.
You have 1 minute, sir.
Unbelievable. Yeah, let's see. What can we get in a minute? I got to have something funny here somewhere. Oh, man. And here we are. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and Captain Comeover. Baby Netanyahu. Thank God there are honest people in the Mossad, because the Mossad outed him about the Iranian stuff. They came out and said, look, you know, they fessed up a report from that channeled it through South Africa that said Iran wasn't a threat. The nuclear weapons, you know, it's all BS. And yet you had Bibi Netanyahu with a big bomb down at the UN saying, look, they're getting closer and closer. Well, anyways. And look, here's all the news I didn't get to go through yet, but, you know, it just keeps on coming and it gets piled high and deeper. That's right. And once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. And, you know, hopefully we'll see you again next week if the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. And until then, look east, get down on your knees, wave the bugs away from your head, and pray to the invisible sky god of your choice. Beware of the sky god! Allah, say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar!